What is maintaining its value like it has for 5,000 years? Gold. Gold, silver, precious metal mining stock investors, everything is falling into place for us. The pieces are moving into place for a bright future for gold, silver, and the mining stocks. I've got a number of points I want to cover with you, including a couple that I hear almost no one talking about. But when you put it all together, when you look at the big picture, the landscape for the mining companies, for the price of gold, the price of silver, couldn't look better. I know that's hard to believe with what's going on in the general markets, and I'm going to touch on that first. Okay, quick review. The general markets, crappy this week. Gold, silver had a little bit of an up week, and the precious metal mining stocks, the GDX, the GDXJ ETFs, both did fairly well for the week. So we can be grateful about that. But what went on in the general market will play into the macro supportive picture for the price of gold and silver as we move forward. Thanks for coming to Ron's Basement. I'm glad you are here. There's no Ron's Basement without you. You can leave a comment below. If you like what you hear, you can subscribe to my channel. I put out content darn near every day about silver, gold, precious metal mining stocks. You could share the video, or it'd be really helpful if you gave it a thumbs up. Thanks for being here. I heard a couple respected economist commentators this week say how everything is out of whack. Everything's out of whack. And it dawned on me, and this is something nobody's talking about, but we're talking about it right now. What is in whack? Gold is in whack. Silver is in whack. They've been in whack for about 5,000 years. They've maintained their value. So while everything else is going, I can't curse, crazy, okay? Cryptocurrencies, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, everything's out of whack. Everything's moving crazy, going down mostly. What is maintaining its value like it has for 5,000 years? Gold. Something else nobody's talking about is the fact that this decline in the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 has been a rather slow and steady process over the last 6 weeks. It wasn't a crash that happened in one day or anything. It was a very slow downward process, okay? What that means is there were a lot of people buying in stair steps as it went down, 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 down. What that means, and this is no fancy technical stuff, it's actually just common sense, is there's a lot of people right now that have bought recently that are bag holders, and they're just waiting for it to go back up a little bit, and guess what? They're going to sell. There's a ton of people that are going to want to sell and get out and get their money back. It's called overhead resistance. So this is key, and again, this is something else nobody's talking about. As the markets don't recover right away, okay, if that indeed is the fact, which I think it will be, people are going to grow more and more frustrated with what had been the traditional stock sectors that they put their money into, right? They're also going to be frustrated with real estate because it's not going to be going anywhere. The bonds aren't doing anything. Cryptos aren't doing anything. What's left? What actually has been doing pretty good this year? Gold, again, gold, over there in the corner by itself, shining bright, with his first cousin, silver. I can't keep forgetting about silver. Silver is sitting right next to him. People are going to maybe start looking over there. And don't forget, right now, something else a few people talk about. Only 0.5% of total investable capital in the world is in precious metals and precious metal mining stocks. Traditionally, that's should be around 1.5% to 2%. If those people, just a fraction, start looking over at gold, we're going to get back to that 1.5%, 2%, which would be 4 times as much money in the sector. But if even a little bit more than a fraction of a fraction start looking, it could go back to 5 or maybe, unbelievable to think this, 10%, like it's been at certain points in the past, in the 80s, and it could just be explosive for the price of silver, gold, and especially the mining stocks. But nobody's talking about it. Shh, keep it secret. That's a good thing. That means we are early. But it's okay that we're early, because if you've been invested in this sector for the last year, you've been to hell and back 3 or 4 times. We've been whiplashed and beat like never before. We are the toughest of the tough, and we're going to continue to hang tough because we know our premise is correct. And don't you forget, we've got part of the perfect storm for gold is stagflation. Did you see the earnings from Walmart and Target? Did you see what happened to their stock prices this week? Those are like almost blue chip stocks. Nobody uses that term anymore, but they're blue chip stocks. They got whacked like 20-25% this week. What is that telling us? Think about it. And yet another thing that hardly anybody's talking about, if you look back at history, okay, if you look back at history, gold stocks before the Great Depression, during the 20s, when everything was kind of going up in bubble fashion, like it has in the United States for the last 10 or so years, back then, when that bubble was being blown up, gold stocks didn't do anything, performed very similarly to how they've performed recently in the last 10 years. However, right after the market crashed and went all the way down, gold stocks outperformed everything. It's a very similar situation to what we're looking at today. So to recap, when people get to the point, and it's going to happen soon, that they realize that there's nowhere else to go with their money, the general market looks like crap, the real estate market looks like crap, the bond market looks like crap, the cryptocurrency market looks like crap. I'm sure there's a few more craps in the toilet I'm forgetting to say to you, but when they get to that point and they're like, what are we going to do with our money? And there's inflation going on, gold will be shining, okay? Also, we're in a perfect environment for gold with stagflation. And don't forget the bonus kicker, which is there's a very small amount of money invested in the precious metals and the precious metal mining stocks in particular. Just getting back to the normal level of investment over the last 20 years would quadruple the amount of money in the sector, and it could go much higher. So the future looks bright for the precious metals and the precious metal mining stocks. I appreciate you joining me here in Ron's Basement. You're always welcome. I hope you come back. You can subscribe right here, and there's another video right here. Until next time, I will see you soon.